And as we walk this way, we'll have a grand staircase, circular staircase, that'll go down into the amenity space in our lower level. And this will be our grand entry, 16-foot ceilings and 16-foot glass coming into the building off of Water Street. Prior to the pandemic, we were really looking at this building as upgrading it to a Class A office space with the robustness of the office market prior to 2020. It was a very viable option here. As the pandemic hit, it made us really reevaluate our office spaces, and in particular this one. We have a lot of options at the studio and one bedroom level that provide a home office. Something else that we saw with the pandemic is a lot of people were working from home. So we don't want them to feel like they're crammed into their living room or their bedroom. So we're providing that space for them to have a home office. So this will be a one-bedroom unit, and you saw the bathroom when we walked in, and this will be the kitchen area right here, where it's an L-shaped kitchen.
There are very few buildings that are able to actually take advantage of this opportunity by expanding the eligibility, changing the date of construction from 1961 to 1990, expanding the geography of where you can be eligible from Manhattan, central Manhattan, and areas in downtown Brooklyn to citywide if you are in a mid to high density commercial area. We think that we will enable about 136 million square feet to be eligible for conversion. Some of the changes that we have proposed have already been adopted by Governor Hochul in her budget proposal, which is expected to be passed in the next couple of months. It actually has a deadline of April 1. So if enacted with these proposals, we will see an immediate change of the rules, at least on the date of eligibility. So we can change that date from 1961 or 1977 in Lower Manhattan to 1990, and increase the universe of buildings that would be eligible. We can also make sure that all square footage of a commercial office building can convert to residential. Today, there's some limitations there. And also, we think that we have a chance through the governor's proposal to create affordable housing as part of this entire plan. Today, there is no requirement that when you do a conversion from office to residential, that there's any affordability included. It's a market rate conversion. Through an incentive that we hope that the state will offer, we will be able to deliver permanent affordable housing as part of this plan.
Two of the biggest things in order to convert buildings, the floor plate itself, the ceiling height, and then also the structure. So the biggest thing being the floor plate itself. If the floor plate is too deep and you won't be able to have proper light and air at the back end of that floor plate, there needs to be something done. And that's when a lot of this engineering comes into play, as well as on the architectural side and planning for these units. So here, what we did was we cut in a series of voids or shafts so that we could then take the depth and change it. So instead of it being 60 feet deep, it's 35 or 40 feet deep. And then that extra square footage, we're able to relocate elsewhere.
Let's be promise reporter, that's happening, so. Yeah, it should be good.
Staten Island Advance, there it is. 13 liter, oh, it's, okay, good. Make any sense.
Right.
So it's a little bit more conversational. The thing that I love the most, which also isn't necessarily intuitive, is we want to make sure that more buildings have this opportunity. We're looking at an 18% vacancy rate in office buildings in Manhattan. We have a housing crisis. We know that there are buildings here, office buildings, that would be better served to be housing.
Come on in here, this fire door closes. Residential would be starting on the second floor and then up from there.
We tried our best to go the path of least resistance and reuse the building in that manner. But just given the market, the lack of real interest, the kind of highest and best use for the building became apparent, and that was converting it to residential. And actually, the cadence of the columns, the size of the bays here lay out a residential almost perfectly. So it's a kind of a natural progression.
There's a real variety of types of office buildings that can be transformed. So some of these are 1950s buildings with a lot of glass. The outside might be redone to make it more energy efficient, but they'll have amazing views, right? They're going to have amazing light because they're up high within the city. So they could be, I think, quite spectacular spaces. I think if they're in the older buildings like 1930s, they have beautiful 20s and 30s have beautiful brick and beautiful detailing on them. So they can be great apartments. They won't feel like, oh, I got shoved in a building that was supposed to be one thing and became something else. I think there's a lot of creative ways to make them great places to live.
watch your footing. You're not gonna fall. There's just like